How much rent were you paying in the beginning? $300?
Yes.
And then it was raised to $400?
Yes.
And then it was raised to $450?
Yes.
And then it was raised to $5?
Yes.
Or did you think she was trying to squeeze you out?
This is the plaintiff, Mary Nee. She says the defendant is her son's girlfriend, and she allowed her to live in her home and agreed on a rent of $450 a month. After a few months, she lost her job, stopped paying her share of the rent, and she's at her wit's end trying to get the girl to pay what she owes. Bottom line, she did a lot for the defendant, isn't asking for anything she isn't owed, and is suing here today for the $4,587.07 she's due. This is the defendant, Audra Renee Lee. She says if anyone's owed money today, it's her, certainly not the plaintiff. The woman caused her so much stress and aggravation, she's trying to get her to pay for babysitting her own grandchild. And the woman's simply suing her out of pettiness and greed because she knows they're going to disown her after this court case today. She's accused of running out on rent. The defendant has filed a countersuit for $2,000 for emotional distress and aggravation.
All parties, please use your right hand.
What you are about to witness is real. The participants are not actors. They are actual litigants with a case pending in civil court. Both parties have agreed to drop their claims and have their cases settled here before Judge Marilyn Millian in our forum, the People's Court.
Be seated, come to order, please. Litigants have been sworn, Your Honor.
Thank you, Douglas.
You're welcome, ma'am.
Mary Nee?
Yes.
You are suing Audra Renee Lee, the woman who is the mother of your son's children. How many?
Just one.
One child, and who is dating your son, for $4,587.07 in rent, babysitting, gas, and party supplies. Okay, you are counterclaiming $2,000 in distress and time and aggravation. Let me hear from you.
Renee started paying rent in June of 2014.
When did she start dating your son?
I think it was March of 2014.
When was it?
March.
Of 2014, okay.
And
then she moved in with you?
Well, she stayed over a couple nights here and there, and then she did move in. And
How old is your son?
let's see, he's 29 now, so 27 at the
And
time.
he was living at home?
Yes.
And who else was living in the house?
My husband, myself, my son William, and his girlfriend.
Oh, it's just, wow, everyone's welcome. Okay.
Yes. Well, my grandson, my oldest grandson, stayed with us 3 nights out of the, every 6. My son had shared custody with his ex-wife.
How many sons do you have?
I have 2 sons.
Okay. Which son had shared custody with his ex-wife? This one?
Yes.
Oh, okay. So in addition, your grandson would stay every whatever period of time.
Right.
Okay, so she moves in, and what happens?
Well,
Did you guys get along?
Yeah, we did.
Okay. When did you stop getting along?
After she moved out, actually.
Okay.
Because
so while she's living there, she lives there for how long?
almost 2 years.
All right. And was she supposed to pay rent?
Yes.
Was your son paying rent?
No.
Why does his girlfriend pay rent if he doesn't pay rent?
He asked whether or not she could move in, and I said, well, it's kind of, a lot. There's going to be more people. There's going to be more bills. Things are going to be, cost of living is going to be higher and everything else. And I said, if she wants to pay rent, that's fine. So Renee and I came to an agreement that she would be paying rent, and she did. And she.
How much rent?
At the beginning, it was $300 a month.
And then?
It was increased to $400, and then it was increased to $450, and then it was increased to $500.
Okay. Now, according to you, you were supposed to pay rent there?
Mm-hmm.
And how much rent were you paying in the beginning? $300?
Yes, Your Honor.
And then it was raised to $400?
Yes.
And then it was raised to $450?
Yes.
And then it was raised to $500?
Yes.
Or did you think she was trying to squeeze you out?
I mean, I knew that it cost more with like the water and electric and things like that, so I definitely understood that.
How about the other girlfriend, the girlfriend of the other brother? Was she paying rent?
I don't know, Your Honor. I don't know if she was.
It never came up? Stand up. What are you doing sitting down? Stand up. Hi.
Hi.
Okay. How do you feel right now?
Not sure how to feel right now.
Yep, you got your girlfriend next to you. You got your mother over there. That's your son, right?
Yes.
Okay. That's and what? And you're Switzerland. You're just going to stay completely neutral. And why weren't you paying rent? You're 29 years old. You're a grown man. Why is she paying the rent?
Welcome back to the People's Court. Harvey Levin here. So, should a mother get involved in who her son chooses to date? Who's a mother here? Okay.
Absolutely not. It's really critical that we teach our kids and prepare them to make great choices, and it's their choice.
What if it's a crappy choice? And you know it. Are you going to
Sometimes
say something?
Experience as a teacher, I'll say it,
Well,
but I
you-
respect the choice.
You just took it back.
No!
You did.
I think it absolutely is okay. Absolutely. I have 2 boys, and I'm going to be very involved in who they date. I want to make sure they bring someone home like mom. So, yes.
Oh,
Absolutely.
God. I've got a therapist card that I can
Do you? Okay.
going inside the courtroom.
Instead of paying rent, I was rebuilding their house.
Is that accurate?
He did do a
And
lot
did
of
the
things.
girlfriend of your brother pay rent?
I honestly do not know.
Nobody bothered to ask. Like, didn't you find that like
We asked, and I was told mind my own business.
because you guys
doesn't
was
involve
the other girlfriend getting charged rent? I'm just curious.
No, my other son was paying rent for the both of them.
Oh, he was paying rent for the both. All right. How much was he paying?
$50 less than what Renee was paying
Okay.
because she had the child.
That's why? Okay, not because he's your son. All right, so let's talk about what happens. You're paying faithfully and everything is fine. And then what caused you to stop paying?
I had lost my job, and then I had taken a job that was a lot lower pay, so I was having trouble staying up with everything. So,
When did you stop paying rent?
probably November is when it started going down. November of 2016 is when it started
Did you
going
pay
down.
in November?
I paid a little bit, but not much.
Did she pay anything in November?
She did pay in November, but it was for September and October.
She paid in November, but it was for September and October.
Yes.
Does that sound right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
So she didn't pay November, December. When did she leave?
March 11th.
So is it accurate that you didn't pay November, December, January, February, or March?
Yes.
Okay. And the 500 was effective when? March?
I believe it was February.
Okay, even she doesn't say that. All right, she says it's March.
Okay.
And why April?
I didn't receive a 30-day notice. I didn't know.
Oh, lady,
whether I
you
was
gotta be
entitled.
kidding me. Are you serious? Why are you doing? The guy's still with her. Why are we like? I understand that you feel you're owed money, but I mean seriously, your son isn't even paying rent, and you're demanding a 30-day notice from the woman who's the mother of his kid, but not him. Nothing. We don't demand anything of him. Why don't we demand anything of him?
Because shortly after she left, my son and I went to family court to file against Renee.
And what was that about? So she left without him.
Yes.
And so what did you go when you say you and your son went to court against her for
No,
what?
we went to file.
File what? This?
No,
Oh,
to file
what?
file custody. He wanted custody of his son.
How old is the son?
2.
What happened to the custody dispute?
We broke up for like maybe a couple weeks, and we worked everything out, and we got back together, and so everything was dropped in that.
And where are you guys living now?
Fall River.
No, I'm sorry. I meant like, do you have your own apartment?
Oh, yes, yes, we do.
How are you able to pay for that?
I just started a new job, and then he had gotten a raise with his job.
Okay. It sounds like you acknowledge that you owe her rent money.
Yes, I'm not denying that I do. I mean, the circumstances that happened, unfortunately, I had no control
Yeah.
over.
See, I'm not in the business of, frankly, if I'm trying to understand what your defense would be. What is your defense?
For March and for April, I wasn't there. Well, March I was there until the 11th, but April I wasn't there at all. So I feel I shouldn't have to pay for those. And then also for the babysitting with her.
Oh,
own
let's talk
branch.
about the babysitting. You're also suing for $1,700 in babysitting. You're talking about your grandkid?
Yes.
Okay. Was she charging you for babysitting?
Our son, yes.
How much do you owe in babysitting money?
I honestly,
She says you owe $1,700.
honestly, that's what it is, probably, because I don't keep good track of something like that. She's definitely better at keeping track with that.
And according to you, she didn't pay from November 4th through the time she left.
Yes.
And so did you ever ask your son for the money?
No, I did not.
Why not?
I didn't think to do that because my agreement was with her.
I find that so distasteful. I have no words to describe how distasteful I find that. When are you going to man up, put your big boy pants on, and figure this out? And so are you on good, does she see your kid?
My oldest son, yes. Nathaniel, when we stop by.
Which one's Nathaniel?
The youngest.
Our son.
Your son.
Our son, yes.
Nathaniel, when you stop by, well, how often are you stopping by?
Right now, whereas money's tight, once every other week.
So even though she's suing you, you're still going there once every other week?
Yes, Your Honor.
Is that accurate?
Yes.
Yes.
That's got to be chilly. Is that accurate?
They do come by, yes.
And when they come by, what do you guys talk about?
Well, we just talked about different things. For example, three of them came for Easter Sunday dinner, and we just,
You came for Easter Sunday. Had you filed the case yet?
yeah.
And you had received service on the case, or no?
Not yet.
No.
Oh, okay. What's the 8707 for?
There were 3 times that Renee had asked to borrow money for gas, and I lent it to her.
Is that accurate?
Yes.
You are counterclaiming against her $2,000 for emotional distress, time, and aggravation. Tell me about that.
So the environment was hostile. I have been on more medication now, living there, since I have my whole life, for like anxiety and depression, insomnia. And then there was times that she did lash out against me. She did call me names.
What'd she call you?
She called me a couple times, and she's also called me before.
Oh, that's a word I don't like to hear.
Yes, me neither, especially being directed at me.
All right. I'm not going to order her to pay April because she didn't give you 30 days notice. That's not going to happen. I'm going to order her to pay you what she agrees she owes you, which is the rent and the babysitting and the gas for a total of $4,087.07. On your counterclaim for emotional distress, 0. I got to tell you, I hope you enjoy that money and do something fabulous with it, because pretty much everybody else has figured out that that money's probably going to cost you your grandkid.
So the judge finds for the plaintiff and awards her $4,000. Number one, what do you think about what the judge just decided, the $4,000?
I don't know what to think about it.
What do you mean? You came in here wanting the money.
I understand that.
You're getting it.
I think
What do you think about what the judge just said to you, that this $4,000 could cost you your relationship with your grandson?
I don't know if it will.
I mean, it's kind of a tragic family situation, wouldn't you agree? Or not?
Yeah, no, I do.
Thank you very
Thank
much.
you.
Hope you enjoy the money. All right, here come the defendants. The defendant, Renee Lee, is on her way out of the courtroom. I mean, this is tough. I feel sorry for you, too. I mean, I think the judge is nonplussed that you don't stand up more. You know.
Honestly, I try to stand up wherever I can. There was a lot of stipulations in my divorce decree. One of them was I couldn't move out for the longest time. I had to get everything straightened just for this.
Well, I don't want to get into all of that. How do you feel about it? I feel so sorry for you.
I'm just glad it's done and over with, honestly. It was just very emotional.
No kidding. Well, look, I'm sorry you're going through this. I hope things get better for you.
Thank you.
Okay? And I hope you stand up.
I will.
Okay, it's about time. You better soon. Harvey, what do you think about this case?
Okay, I mean, look, the judge couldn't have been more right, I think, that, you know, the plaintiff got what she wanted, but at what cost? I mean, this is something that could really affect her relationship with her grandson. I think this is just a terrible choice. That will do it for this case. The litigants for the next case on the way into the courtroom right now.
These are the plaintiffs, Tanjaya and Robert. Tanjaya says she hired the defendant to take pictures and video of her wedding. And instead of concentrating on his work, the guy partied the night away. He also chose all the pictures to put in the album she paid for. But bride doesn't get to pick out her own pictures for her album. Bottom line, this guy was a total hack, and they're here suing for the return of that $2,000 they gave him. This is the defendant, Curtis. He says he's quite surprised by this lawsuit because the plaintiffs loved the album he made for them. In fact, Tanjaya cried out of happiness when she saw it because she was reliving the day. They never said anything to him about being unhappy. He's shocked he's being sued. And as far as he knew, they liked the work. He's accused of not getting a picture.
All parties, please use your right hands.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Next case in the docket, the plaintiffs hired the defendant to videotape their wedding, but the guy ended up partying with the guests. But the defendant says the plaintiffs love the pic, so what's the big deal? It's the case of bad reception.
Thank you, Douglas. Okay, nobody wants last names. Tanya and Robert, you are suing Curtis, the photographer at your wedding, for a partial refund of his photography services because, according to you, he didn't do what you contracted him for. Congratulations. When did you guys get married?
September 26, 2015.
15.
15,
Okay, so
yes.
what happened?
Well, I've known Curtis for a long time. He's done different jobs throughout the community as far as being a photographer. We hired him to take pictures for our wedding. Curtis did the first album, first photo album.
Had you ever done a wedding before?
Absolutely, Your Honor.
How many weddings had you done?
I have over 50 weddings, Your Honor.
Okay, I asked because you made an album in this case for the bride without the bride picking the pictures.
Okay. Your Honor.
Do you always do that in the 50 weddings that you did? Did you pick the pictures?
Your Honor, in her case, it was over 542 JPEG pictures that I had taken of the wedding.
So?
I didn't want to overwhelm her, and I tried, wait a minute, Your Honor, I tried to get her to view the wedding and select the picture she wanted. The problem is that she wasn't computer savvy and didn't know how to do that.
So she goes to your office and she sits with you and you show it to her?
No, she was in South Carolina, Your Honor. She was in South Carolina, I was here in New York. I then worked out a way, and she told me that she had...
How is it that you had the pictures? You have them on a website, and then there's a link?
I tried that. That wasn't good for her. They weren't able to view the pictures that way.
But what link did you don't, your business... I'm sorry, let me ask my question. Your business doesn't have its own website with the pictures loaded onto them?
No, I didn't, Your
Okay,
Honor.
so what is the site that you loaded the pictures onto?
I loaded the pictures for her to Dropbox, and what I normally do is I have what you call an FTP, file transfer protocol, that I send my clients the files, but she wasn't able to receive it like that.
Why not?
She was having problems on her end with her computer.
All right, and then what happens?
He sent me 70 pictures.
How did he send you 70 pictures?
Via email.
Just 70?
Just 70.
How many pictures total were there?
Your Honor,
How many pictures total were there?
I have right here 512 pictures that I sent her, and here's the email, Your Honor.
That's what I want.
And if you total them up, and what happened was, because in sending the pictures through email, and keep in mind, Your Honor, the files were big, so I couldn't send all 500 pictures at a time, so I had to break it down. All those pictures got there.
Stop. Can you show me that the bride and groom got to see all the pictures that you took? And you know what I'm asking for because you handed me this, which shows that you sent it, not that it was received. I want to see your email account. Do you have your email account there?
Also, Your
And
Honor,
do you? No, stop. I want you to log on to your email account.
Okay.
How many pictures do you say you saw?
70.
Okay, and didn't you say to him, is there any email from you to him saying, why are there only 70 pictures? You were there 4 hours. I know you took more than
Out of
that.
the 70, I only picked 41 pictures.
I understand. So you were happy with the 70 that you saw then? Because you never say, where are the rest of my pictures?
I did ask him where the rest of the pictures.
Where? Do you have an email where you say to him, this is far too few pictures?
Right here, on this one. And this was back in, when he showed me the pictures in the Dropbox that disappeared. I don't know where they went. I asked him, I said, I know this can't be all the pictures that you have.
Oh, so you were able to open the Dropbox?
The Dropbox, I was able to see them, but they were so small. That's what I was saying. They were so little.
Why didn't you just open up that Dropbox? Why didn't you just open up that email on a computer so you could see them big?
Because he sent them to my phone.
Yeah,
my
but why didn't you
Gmail.
just tell him do the same thing but send it to my computer?
I don't know.
Honestly, the
I'm
Lord can only
sorry.
help those who help themselves. I mean,
I know, but I don't.
So you pick 40 pictures and you create an album. And you get the album. And are you happy with that album?
No, not at all.
Okay, but that's not what you say in the email. In the email, what you say is, I am pleased with the book.
I'm pleased with the pictures.
I am pleased with the book.
Sent.
No, I'm reading your email.
Okay.
I am pleased with the book. I do need a couple of changes, though. You can take the picture of my hand out on pages 45 and 46. Now, this is the digital album you're looking at, right? Not an actual book.
Exactly.
Okay, so you were able to open that. How did you open up the digital album?
He sent it to my email.
On your computer. And so you were able to open it up on your computer, and then you look at it, and then you tell them very specific instructions. And you take out my hand on 45, 46. I don't like the way my hand looks. Please have them lighten page 51 to 52. On the last page, on the way out the door, we can switch the place of those two. Overall, it is good. Thank you. Were those changes made?
Not all of them.
Which one wasn't?
The picture with my hand was not taken out.
I need you to now list for me why you're suing him. Because if I see an email saying, I'm pleased with the book except for 1, 2, 3, and you're saying he did some of 1, 2, 3, but not the others of 1, 2, 3, now I need to know why you're suing. What didn't he do?
Because my book, this book that I paid him for, has multiple pictures of the same picture in it. It's like as
Let me see.
Fill-ins.
Show me what you're saying.
And I have everything marked. Then, along with that package, we were supposed to get a canvas-sized wall portrait, as he had said.
Do you have the original contract with him?
I do.
And does it say canvas-sized wall portrait, or does it just say wall portrait?
But we were in my sister's house when we were doing it, and there's a picture on my sister's wall, and he said it'll probably be the size of that right there, but it's going to be done on canvas beautifully. Well, that didn't happen either. This is my wall portrait from him here. You could give her that as well. And I have everything marked in there for you to see why I'm not happy.
I need you to come sidebar here a second. Tell me all the things you don't like about the album.
Once I received the album, not thinking about the pictures on the computer, but once I received the album, there's a lot of things I don't like in here, okay?
So I'm going to need you to list for me everything that you don't like.
I did.
Okay, so here we go. 3 pictures.
3 pictures the same.
What are the 3 pictures the
2,
same?
and 3.
Okay, and didn't you notice that the first time
No,
when
I
you
did
approved
not.
the album?
No, I did not.
Okay, but you could have, right? Because that was how it was.
I didn't know these pictures were the same. There's so many pictures.
Wait,
in here.
what other pictures are the same?
This one and this one. I have the arrows pointing there. Okay, I didn't know. This, my matron of honor, her picture's not there. but
Your matron of honor is not in this
these
picture.
two are the same pictures.
And they're the same picture. Why do you have the same pictures on the same page
What
repeatedly?
are we looking at, Your Honor? I don't know
I'll tell you
My
what we're
photo
looking
album.
at. Her photo album, her wedding album, and you were to choose 2 pictures here. You chose the same picture here. They're the same picture. I'm looking at it. Then here,
Same picture there.
this is the same picture as this one.
Yes.
And then here,
There's 3 pictures the same. And there's pictures of me.
is this the one? This picture, and this picture are the same. That's not supposed to happen. She didn't catch it, but that's not supposed to happen. Go ahead and go back. Let me ask you a question. I got an idea. Do you have all of her pictures?
Yes, I have. Yes.
You may not have them here, but you have them.
Right.
You didn't get rid of them.
Right.
Okay. I want to make a suggestion. How about if we do this? Just call me Monty Hall from Let's Make a Deal. Who's the new guy? I don't know. I'm a Monty Hall fan. All right.
So are brides typically disappointed with their weddings?
I would say yes, because my sister, even though she spent a great amount of money, she was disappointed because she just wanted more people to show up. So it's hard to please a bride.
What do you say? Hard to please a
I
bride?
think it's the fantastic thing in the whole wide world. Friends, family, food, fun, dancing. It's a blast.
Okay, I just found out something a minute ago. Are you getting married or married? Just
I'm getting married.
and that's what all these guys are here for.
Yes,
When you get married?
September 23rd.
Ooh, well, what do you think about what we're talking about?
I hope to not be disappointed. I don't know about anyone.
Okay, but if you were going to Vegas, you think you'd be disappointed?
No, just as long as my fiance's there, I'm good.
Okay, wait a minute. Do you believe her? Do you believe her?
Yes.
You believe her?
I believe her. Yes.
Oh, get real. Come on, girls. Going inside the courtroom.
Would this make you happy if you get every picture and a release so you can make your own darn album?
Yes, but I need to see what his picture, my husband's saying that.
Well, you're not going to get $2,000. I'm telling you that right now. How do you get $2,000? You have a perfect video, and
The video's not perfect, and I stated that.
Okay,
I
you
said
tell
this-
me what
this-
your complaints are, and I'll just rule. That's how we'll do it. Go ahead.
No,
tell
I'm
me.
serious. I'm just
Yeah.
saying, I said that there was a few, like him walking in front of the camera when they were videotaping, and the fact that it wasn't edited fully, but I do like it because that's what we have to look at. And that's about it with the video, the photographer.
Okay, now tell me what you don't like about this, that there's repeated pictures. What else?
And then the wall portrait you have there.
And the wall portrait was just a blow-up picture as opposed to a canvas, correct?
It's supposed to be canvas size, as
Okay,
he
so
stated.
do you have the original contract so I can see
did.
what your contract called for?
And on the back of the album, you can
Does
see...
it say canvas on your, it just says
No.
wall portrait? I don't
Right,
even know
but
what
I'm going by his verbal, when he was sitting in my sister's house.
Okay, are you
stating-
supposed to have done a canvas of
No,
that?
Yes,
no,
Watch
Your
it. That's how it works when
No,
we
Your
go on
Honor.
verbal instead of
But
going on
I have a
specific.
witness,
Okay, who's your witness?
my sister Tammy.
Okay, come on up,
And
Tammy.
actually, this contract took place in her house. among-
Switch, please, husband and Tammy. All right, and go ahead, Tammy.
Yes, he said he would do a wall portrait of canvas. He pointed to my picture in my dining room area.
Which is a canvas?
Which is a canvas,
Okay.
yes.
Now, what did this book actually cost? Do you have the receipt for it?
The book, yes, I do.
The actual cost to him of the book, not his expertise, his training, all that, what it would cost you if somebody there can find someone who knows how to make a photo book, which is pretty much a lot of people that you know probably know how to, is $173.99. The canvas costs how much?
Approximately 69, 79,
Okay,
depending
I'm
on
going to say
the
100.
All right.
So what I propose to resolve this case is as follows. We monitor the getting of all of the pictures from your wedding, all right? We monitor to make sure that we've got it. So you're going to send it to us, and then we're going to FedEx it to you. You sign a waiver so she can do whatever she wants with them, and I award you $273, which will allow you to make the canvas and a new book.
Okay, Your Honor, but all the pictures that he has there, that in that photo album, there's clarity. So when he gives me back those pictures.
Are you listening to me when I tell you that you approve the photo album?
And I also said there's things I did not see.
Then
when I was looking
that's on
on
you.
the computer,
You know that,
when I
right? That's on you.
confirmed-
Because we can lighten a picture, and do you hear me when I tell you, you don't have to pick every picture. 600 pictures aren't going to be clear. That's not how wedding albums work. You look at 600, you pick your favorite 40. Are you telling me that 40 of them out of the 600 aren't clear when you haven't even seen them? I'm trying to help you, and you are just hell-bent on just getting $2,000 back, which I am putting you on real notice is not going to happen, okay? So I'm trying to do the best thing for you, and you're still not letting me. All right, based on what I've listened to, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to order you to convey the 500 pictures. That's one. Two, I'm going to ask you to sign a release, okay? So that she can do whatever she wants, you know, when she figures out, when she thinks about this and says, oh, yeah, Judge Milian, wow, she really had my back. When she thinks about it, when she's home, she gets it, and then she'll take care of it. I'm going to order you to refund $273, which should amply cover a canvas and a new book with pictures that you haven't seen so you can't complain about. All right? So that's how we're going to resolve it. That is my judgment. Good luck, folks.
Well, the plaintiff does prevail. She doesn't get the $2,000 she was seeking. You're going to send copies of the original
Absolutely.
pictures back to her so she can then do with what she wants,
Absolutely,
right?
absolutely.
Do you think you did kind of a cheap thing by putting so many of the same pictures on the same page?
This is 4 books later. It was a mistake that was made.
All right.
And, you know, it happened.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Barry.
Okie dokes. Here comes Tanya and Robert on the way out. All right, you're going to get 200 and some bucks back
I'm
to
not
make a
happy.
new album, and you're going to get all the pictures. You may not be happy, but you can be happy if you do what you want with the
And
pictures
if
you're
the
going to get.
pictures are correct, I would never
You
use
can
this
correct them.
photographer again.
You're
and
getting
I
the
wouldn't-
originals.
And I wouldn't have anybody else use him again either.
Well, no, you
Trinity
can feel that way.
Digital.
That's okay. All right. She's still upset. Sorry about that. But you were a winner. Maybe not what you want, but you were a winner. Harvey?
Okay, Doug, look, I just one piece of advice. When you have a wedding or any big event, be as specific as possible in every contract you sign for the DJ, for the wedding planner, for the caterer, for everything. The more specific you are, the more the chances are that you're going to enjoy your wedding. And that will do it for this case. Litigants for the next case on the way into the courtroom right now.
This is the plaintiff, Aaron Sacharo. He says he purchased a Mitsubishi from the defendant, and the guy told him the car was in good working order. He promised him the engine was rebuilt and would run fine. Well, turns out the car was a piece of junk. It wasn't even worth fixing, and the defendant insured him about the condition of the car, but it was all a lie. He's suing for $4,000, the amount he paid. This is the defendant, Travis Redden. He says the plaintiff doesn't have a leg to stand on today regarding this case because he was familiar with this car inside and out. The plaintiff knew this was a special project car. He knew all the parts that were in it and all the parts it still needed. He was very upfront with the plaintiff. He gave no warranty and doesn't owe him a dime. He's accused of misleading a Mitsubishi buyer.
All parties, please raise your right hands.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Next case in the docket. The plaintiff bought a Mitsubishi from the defendant that was a piece of junk. Defendant says he knew exactly what he was buying. It's the case of don't be a little Mitsubishi.
Thank you, Douglas.
You're welcome, ma'am.
Aaron Sacharo, you are suing Travis Redden for $4,000 that you want returned to you that you paid for a 1997 Mitsubishi Eclipse GS Turbo that you purchased from him, which, according to you, you junked or you had someone else junk. Tell me what happened.
April 6th of this year, I purchased a GST 1997 Mitsubishi Eclipse from Travis Redden for $4,000. And basically, it was a project car.
What does a project car mean?
Okay, like usually project cars are, you buy them and a lot of them aren't running. Some of them are, but most of them, they need a lot of engine work or they need body work or something. It's usually people who take them can customize them or build them the way that they want them to be built.
Okay, so when you bought it, you knew that it needed work.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So this was a non-running vehicle. This one had an engine.
It was a what vehicle?
Oh, a non-running vehicle.
Non-running. Okay.
Correct. It had all the wheels, though. It had an engine, transmission, many parts that it needed to get it running. And that was basically it. It didn't really need too much. It was about 85%, 90% finished from what the claims were before I purchased it.
Claims from whom?
From Travis and his brother, John Redden. Travis was the brother of John Redden, who I became really good friends with in September of 2014. I knew John for about a year and a half. And the story is I saw the car for the first time in September of 2014. So I saw it on the side of the road, and I just asked about it. And John Redden was the one who owned it at the time. It's his brother. And he said, this is a GST. It's between, I couldn't remember the exact price.
Wait, did you guys know each other then, or is that how you met?
That's how we met.
Okay.
Very first time, yeah.
Do you have a picture of the car? I have to see what this car looks like.
I do.
So you meet him over the car, and then you become good friends.
Exactly, yeah. That's what
Okay.
happened.
So you guys socialize, like you start hanging out.
Yeah, what happened was he explained what the car was in the very moment. It was between $6,200 and $7,000. So right when he told me that, I said, okay, well, I wasn't interested in buying a car. I was just kind of here looking, at the car this year.
How much later did you purchase it?
Oh, I purchased it about almost not 2 years later, but like a year and a half later.
That's a long time later. Was that car for sale all that time, or it wasn't for sale?
No, it was sitting for
It was just sitting.
Yeah.
All right. Is it your brother's or is it yours?
It's mine.
Okay. How come your brother had it?
I actually gave the car to him to work on in the meantime, and then he went away, and I took the car back in my possession.
He went away?
Prison.
Okay. And so you took it back. Whose name is it titled?
My name.
Okay. So then have you been working on it after that?
No, I had not even touched the car.
Okay. So how did you two end up coming to terms on the car? Did he come to you and ask for it, or did you go to him?
I was actually posting it online for sale, and he contacted me saying that he really wanted the car because
Did you two know each other already? Had you met through your brother?
briefly, I've only met him a couple of times.
Okay, so when you put it online for how much?
$6,500 the best offer.
All right, so then you decide that you want to buy the car. And you guys come to terms to $4,000 for the car. Did you have it checked out by a mechanic before you bought it?
That's when I called, I messaged John. He had just actually come out of prison in January, and he came out early.
And so you contact John?
He was, yeah.
Okay, so was John there?
Yes.
Okay, so that's a mechanic you had look at it, his brother.
Yeah,
okay,
I
and
trusted
then
him.
so you buy it, and what goes wrong that causes you to come to court and sue?
Once it went to the mechanic's shop in Hazleton, PA, which I can get into detail with, the parts were not correct. A lot of parts were incorrect.
What does
was built,
incorrect mean?
like it was supposed to be a 7-bolt head, but it was a 6-bolt head. And
Do you guys have paperwork from the sale of the car?
yes.
May I see it? What does it say about warranties or about representations of all the things you're saying? As is. That's what it says. What do you believe the words as is mean?
So, come on. $4,000, 20-year-old car, knew something was wrong. Any recourse here?
No.
Oh, come on, no recourse, right?
None. You knew what it was.
Anybody think there's any recourse?
No, buyer beware.
Buyer be super aware. Going inside the courtroom.
As is was the fact that the car wasn't running and that I was selling it in this state, and these were the parts that.
Do you have any evidence that would suggest that he told you a certain repair was made and then it wasn't?
Yes.
Okay.
I do.
I'd like to hear that now and see that now.
Okay, well, after the mechanic looked it over, I texted Travis about everything. I said you replaced that the car had these parts, and this is what I paid for, and these are all incorrect.
What did he say?
He said, first he apologized, and then he said this was Dogbox's fault. And
This
then
is what?
It's a company that worked on this car in the past that was apparently responsible for a lot of the builds, the building of this engine, to make it worth what it was supposed to be worth. Apparently he spent over $10,000.
Let me see those texts between you and him. Explain that.
Okay, about 7 years ago, Dogbox Racing took the engine and rebuilt the whole thing. And then I took it and I put it in the car, but I never really drove it, so it sat for years.
Okay, so when you tell him what has been done, do you represent that you were the one who rebuilt the engine?
No.
Do you always tell him it was another party that rebuilt it?
Yes, I did not build
Is
it.
that accurate?
Correct.
So you send it to some master mechanic in Pennsylvania who says it's in very bad condition, has many problems. Before towing this back and making any false judgments, would it be okay if I send John's number to him? Just letting you know, you sold me a junk car. Nothing was good on it from the inside out. Had to go directly to the junkyard. Now, why would it go to the junkyard? You paid $4,000 for the car.
The mechanic there told me, first of all, it would have costed me $500 to $600 to tow it back from Hazleton to my house in New Jersey. And I also
How'd you get it there?
my friend at AAA,
Okay.
and that was the only time I could use it.
So over $500, you left your $4,000 investment where? In Pennsylvania? Just
Yeah.
gave it to the guy?
Well, he didn't
Because
keep
he
it.
told you, oh, this car's junk?
He didn't keep the car though. He gave it to the junkyard because
How do you know?
he told me, and he really needed all my information to send the car to the junkyard.
How do you know he didn't
needed
title
my-
it in his own name or something, or, you know? Did you sign over the title to the mechanic in Pennsylvania?
I did, yes. From the video footage and everything you went over.
I just want to hug you right now and just go like this. Start talking. Explain to me why it is he's not entitled to any reimbursement.
Okay, I have pictures of when it was first rebuilt, so everything is in the car. Also, when you buy a car as is and there is no warranties, there is no list of any parts on the contract at all. So therefore, I believe the claims are false.
What am I supposed to do with the fact that you bought a car as is and you're asking me to order him to reimburse you because he violated a warranty about the condition of the car? The actual selling document says I warrant nothing. I'm sorry, but this is not something where I can order him to return your money on it. I just can't. Not on an as-is sale, which in black and white says as is. It's one of the 20 words on the contract that you signed. Verdict for the defendant. Good luck, folks.
So the plaintiff bought the car as is, and that's the way it is. You couldn't prevail. Do you understand the judge's verdict?
A little bit, I guess.
I mean, you know what as is means.
I do,
right?
yeah, and I
Okay.
researched it before I tried to do anything.
Think you'll ever get another one?
Probably. I'm
Probably?
gonna try, yeah.
Well, good luck. Hope it's a better deal next time, all right? You must sign a few documents. Sorry about this. Here comes Mr. Redden, the defendant. All righty, well, that's it. You should feel pretty good, I guess, at this point.
And no one really feels good when someone loses a car like that.
I know.
Yeah.
It's a shame.
Yes.
All right, thank you very much, sir. You two must sign some documents. Harvey?
Hey guys, you can only undo this deal if there's fraud, and it ain't no fraud.
Don't text and drive. The People's Court is a Ralph Edwards, Stu Willett production.